Hello, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Almost, but close enough. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas Eve. I hope you didn't have to work today. And those of you who did, I appreciate your contribution to our society. And I hope that you're able to take some time off tomorrow and do whatever the hell you like to do during your time off. Hopefully it'll involve eating some food. I'm gonna make cookies. I'm gonna bake cookies. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited about it, in fact. I don't bake a lot of stuff, but I do enjoy baking what I do bake, and I really like baking cookies. Oh, I'm glad you're liking the music, Nemo. I wasn't... See, we were still in the week's synth jam, but I'm kind of like in a Christmassy mood. So I was just like playing along this afternoon, and like a little jam sort of suddenly appeared. So I just went with it, and here we are. It's kind of fitting, though. I'm joined today with my very festive Christmas turkey. This guy, he's been around for a long time, and he's very special to me. So he's just gonna sit here and keep me company. Along with you guys, of course. Before we begin, Ray let me pick what we're gonna play tonight. And I still haven't decided. Because it's Christmas time. Hey, Meneth. Hey, Real. Happy, Merry Holiday Christmas to all of you. Hey, so I wanted to let you guys know, I've been using these thumb socks. And, I mean, it seems like they all come from the same place, you know, and they're just in different packages. But there are differences. Oh, I can't even... Oh, wait, no. You know what? I think I stuck the old ones in here. I did. So, these were the ones I was using. They're kind of small, you know, but they're good small. The longer ones that I have that go down further, as I move my thumb like this, can you see? Yeah. As I move my thumb like that, it ends up pulling, and then I move my thumb again and it pulls more, and until like it's all the way up here and it's like starting to bunch up. So these ones are great because they don't do that because they're so small. But like the quality is sort of dubious. So I found these ones on Amazon, and I've been using them for a few days now, and I'm pretty happy with them. They don't go super far down, as you can see, and so that's a big plus. They're not super tight, and they feel like they're made better. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to let you know. Tip kits. So silly. But yeah. There you go. Oh yes. My traditional holiday song. Which I realized is it's an amalgamation of two different songs. I've been notified by many people that it's not the correct way of doing that song. And then I had to notify those people, I don't care, because I liked it, and Snoopy liked it, and of course my most festive holiday, Turkey, he liked it as well. I hope you guys like it. There's quite a bit more from the TRI archives that eventually will see the light of day. Maybe. So we're not having a show tomorrow. I thought about it a lot, but I think that anyone who can should spend time with their families. And if you have a family, even if they're not your favorite people to be around, Christmas time, Christmas Day is a good day to suck it up and spend time with your family and be open-minded and try to have the best experience that you can. You know, and it could be a challenge, I understand, but I think it's important. And I felt weird, you know, being like, well, you know, I should just do a show, but then it's like, well, who's gonna watch? You know, like, am I incentivizing people to not spend time with their families and instead watch me? That just seems so, like, weird. So there. So there. No, that's not what I meant. So there's no show tomorrow. But we'll be back on Monday. And hopefully we will be inducting anyone who has joined. Recently there has been a number of people who have joined, but they haven't completed their onboarding. They haven't posted their introductions. Renner was the last one. So if you're watching this and you've joined the TRICOM, be sure you really actually read the Info and Rules channel, or else you're never going to become an actual member, and you'll never have privileges to speak in any of the channels. And at that point, what's really the point, right? I'm sure you would like to have more to do in the TRICOM than just you know, look around. So I encourage you, read the Info and Rules, complete your onboarding, and you'll be inducted on Monday, which will be the final public induction for, well, the final induction for open enrollment, I guess you can call it. Raid is sending me messages, but he's sending them one at a time, like instead of completing his entire statement. All right. He apparently wants me to play Proteus because he says there's a Christmas level in Proteus, or he says a Christmas campaign. I don't know anything about that, but I'm interested. But I was thinking about, you know, some of what is going on. Okay, it's working now. Some of my favorite games, and just thinking about, like, looking for which ones have a Christmas mode, or, you know, some sort of Christmas event. I know Apex Legends has it. Not only is it sort of like a holiday themed event going, but it's a train event. The problem is, I'm so terrible at that game, and it's just not fun for anybody if I were to play it on the show for you guys. So we're not going to do that. I want to jump into that over the weekend sometime with some of you TRICOM gamers, and maybe you guys could teach me the way. And I could feel like I'm actually doing something productive in the game. I did play it a bit more today, but I don't know. I'm just not getting it. I'm just not getting it. I feel like I'm doing chores when I'm playing that game, you know? Like I feel like 90% of the game is just running around from room to room looking at a bunch of equipment on the floor. I feel like I'm at a huge open world swap meet and I'm just looking at stuff and opening things, and there's a whole bunch of, okay, there's, all right, well, I don't know, okay, I gotta pick up all this stuff. Oh, well, now I got stuff that I can't use. Oh no, now I don't even know which weapon I need to have. Is this a good one? Oh, now I gotta pick, because I gotta get rid of stuff to make room for more stuff. But I don't know what I have that's good, so then you end up getting rid of something, and then, I feel like I need to watch like 13 YouTube videos about the best builds or whatever, so I can figure out what exactly I need to be grabbing. So instead, I thought we would make our own Christmas mode in Warzone. So maybe we'll do Proteus too, because I didn't realize that there's a Christmas campaign in Proteus. I'm assuming it's probably one of the like community made campaigns. But either way, that's a fun game, and I would love any excuse to jump back in. But first, we have to help old Saint Nick. Because what's happened is up there at the North Pole, they've endured some tough times, and they don't have a lot of money for supplies to make their Christmas gifts for all of the children of the world. As you know, this is going to make a lot of people very upset. It's going to potentially ruin Christmas, in fact, for a tremendous amount of people, particularly children, but not just children. So, yeah, don't fill. Okay, so we're gonna help Santa out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go find as much cash as we can and send it back to the North Pole so that they can purchase gift cards to give to all the children of the world. And those children who can't use a gift card, they can have cash in an envelope that has a nice message written on it, because that doesn't cost anything. But what Santa needs is he needs that cash. He needs the money. It's sad enough that he wasn't able to make the gifts that he wanted to make. And all these children are going to be so bummed out on Christmas morning when they open up their eyes to see that there's no presents under the tree. They're going to go look in their stockings and see that there's nothing there but sadness and heartache. We have to prevent that from happening. So we're playing the Christmas mode of Call of Duty Modern Christmas Zone. And here's the thing. We've got 3 locations that we have to go to get all of the Christmas cash to send back to the North Pole. We got to go in the big hole in the ground because there's a lot of cash down there we've learned. And we got to send as much of that back as possible, as quickly as we can. And then we've got to get on the enchanted Christmas train. And we've got to ride that all the way to the farm. But before we get to the farm, we have to stop in the city to find more of the Christmas cash that is in the city. You see, because a bunch of Grinches and Scrooges, a whole squadron of both of them, invaded the North Pole and took all of Santa's money and cash and jewels, and now they've hidden those things all throughout the city. So we're going to the city after we visit the hole in the ground where the Grinch lives, his main headquarters, obviously. And then we're going to take our train, our enchanted Christmas train, and ride that to the city, and then make our way to the farm to find any remaining helium that may exist, which will help us get all of our money back to Santa, hopefully in time for him to do what he does, well, I guess tonight / tomorrow morning, very early. Okay. We may not be able to complete all of this on our first run, but these are our objectives.
Get ready.
All right. There's the hole where the Grinch lives. I don't see anybody else going over there. That's good. Oh, someone's already shooting at me.
I need close air support on this target.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
Oh! The Grinch has his henchmen here protecting his things. It's okay, we're not giving up that easy.
Extraction is standing by. Mark an LZ for pickup. Enemy UAV overhead.
What? What is that thing that he did? Look at that thing. I don't even know what that is. But it was effective. At least I got his friend. His friend's gonna be flying back in now. Oh, you know what? We should get this cash drop. Santa can use this. Perfect. And then we'll head back down into the hole.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Enemy attack chopper is in.
That's Santa's.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Where are they at?
Enemy precision airstrike.
Oh, again? Oh, shit! Oh, what a slick fella. God. How did he not get killed by the airstrike? All right, well, we already got the cash for Santa from the cash drop, so that's good. Maybe we'll go make our way underground again.
Secure all cash you find.
Oh, shit. Oh, what was that? I don't even, I mean, I think she had a rocket launcher. I think she shot my mine. Or maybe they just both went off together. They are beneath me. I don't mean like I'm better than them. I mean literally. I can hear them. I'm sure the Grinch's goons have already taken all of his money out of his underground bunker. We're already in overtime. Oh, yeah, there's a whole gang of them up there. Oh, shit. Get away. How in the world? Not a good place to be. All right, I need to stop going up against the well-armed squad. Man, I've almost lost all my money. Oh, those poor children. This is not a good idea. Oh, no. Holy smokes. I don't even know where they are. There's like multiple squads there. spotted me again. Oh! Oh, what a jerk. Oh, think of the children. Oh, that's it. All right, everyone's getting, you know, like a tablespoon of unpopped popcorn kernels. That's all we can afford this year. Unless I try again and get all of Santa's money back. I think we can do it. Raid?
Yes.
Do you think we can do it?
No way.
That's not the holiday spirit, Raid.
No one has any idea what that means.
Everyone knows what that means. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Oh, you know what? These tokens. Could these help us? No, these won't help us. These just make it so we get more points at the end of the match when things start making numbers go up and that sort of stuff. I don't know. All right, we'll go ahead and do one of those. I don't know if I've ever done one of these things. I think it just makes your stats, you know, increase, which makes your stats sort of arbitrary because it's like, I mean, look at how many of these I have. There's like 7 double weapon XP, whole bunch of regular double XP. So when you have this many, what does it even mean? It's not really, you can't increase your experience with a multiplier, you know? Experience is like, you know, things that happen over time. You're not increasing the amount of things that happen over time. You're just increasing the how come that keeps happening? I keep getting like networking issue indicators on here. But anyway. Ugh. Yeah. Good for you. You're probably feeling very excited now. That's fine. Merry Christmas. We're gonna get double XP, so look out, everyone. The amount of XP that we're gonna get is gonna be more. The numbers will be higher. There you go. We'll be able to unlock more weapons that we will ignore and perks that we probably won't ever use.
By completing contracts, looting, or eliminating targets.
Now remember,
Mark a drop point for your
we have to start
lead 'em in.
with the Grinch's hideout, because if we don't, someone else is going to get there first and either clear it out or they'll be waiting for us. We can't let that happen. All right, here we go. Let's see if anyone comes down. All right, come on, go.
I need close air support on this target.
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
Yes.
No hits on that run.
I need recon on my position.
UAV entering the AO.
Requesting recon.
UAV entering the
Marking
AO.
targets. Get hot.
Loader 2-0, good copy. Cluster strike away.
targets. Clear hot.
Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound. Godspeed.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
All right, now that we've made it with some money,
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
let's get some back to Santa. 150K coming back, Santa. Hope this helps. I didn't miss any supply boxes, did I? No. All right.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Shut the door. Oh, shut the door. Hey, Jason. How's it going? Merry Christmas Eve. And the merriest of Christmases to you, my friend. We're here just trying to help Santa out. Bunch of jerks stole his supplies from the workshop, and him and the elves are unable to make any toys for the children. So I'm trying to send as much cash back to the North Pole as I can. Second deposit coming up, Santa. Okay. Oh, we're doing it. Anything in? No, okay. I hear another one. All right. Let's just throw that down so no one else can use it.
Be advised, enemy attack chopper incoming.
All right, another cash drop. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I don't want that gun. All right. All right, we already went that way. I think we're ready to head on out of the Grinch's lair. You know, I don't want anyone to get this. There's a lot of goodies down here. And you don't want them to fall into the wrong hands. The wrong green hands. This is a very dangerous place right here. All right, we're playing against squads of 4. We are solo, but we have a very noble mission, which is going to empower us to save the day and win. All right, no one's over there. So much with the stopping rounds.
Enemy UAV overhead.
When I'm running around like this, how much is gyro and how much is Snap's touchpad? It looks just like a mouse. Man, it's hard to tell. It's I'm not conscious of it at this point. But for a lot of it, here, I'll go like this. For a lot of it, if I think that I'm going to, engage, if I'm in an area where I think that there could be people, I'm really trying to hold my hands straight. So I'm really doing a lot less with the gyro in moments like that. Because, like, if a guy's going to come up out of here, that stairwell, I don't want to necessarily be turning like this, and then he comes up and then maybe jumps, over the banister to the left, and then my hand's all weird. So in a situation like this, I'm lining myself up to the right and I'm snapping to look at those stairs. If I want to look at that door behind me, rather than using the gyro to turn around, I would just turn to the corner and then snap. But like right there, when I was turning around, because it wasn't like a frantic thing, I'm just turning around. This is all touchpad right now. This is all. So like looking out the windows. Basically, I think what you can tell is if you pay attention, a lot of the looking, most of the looking is with the touchpad. So like when I'm glancing around corners like this, looking around like that, looking to the door over here, gonna go up the stairs, I'm gonna look. This is all touchpad. Slight, gyro adjustments, but like looking out the window, all touchpad. I'm gonna get that cash drop for Santa. But like right now, like I wanna look behind me, so I'm gonna snap 180 and at the same time slide my left thumb on the left touchpad down so that I'm walking backwards, and then I do the opposite to go back the other direction. Boom, I'll do it again. Use the gyro to look around. And then do it again. And I don't know necessarily why. Sometimes I'll use the gyro more than others, but hey, Dr. Ravenhall. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I really pay attention to it. I use the touchpad a lot, and I like the touchpad. I see the appeal in experimenting with like 100% gyro only controls, especially if you're using a controller that doesn't have a touchpad. But when you have a touchpad, I don't see the touchpad as a problem that needs fixing or as a thing that needs to be avoided. Like that was all gyro. There was no reason to use touchpad there. Touchpad wouldn't have helped me actually, because I don't have acceleration on the touchpad, so making fine movements and adjustments with my thumb, like I'm trying to track that. Oh. I mean, even that was like a good example. Trying to track that ammo case was, relatively tough. But then as soon as the target came up, the enemy, I started tracking him with the gyro. Look at my health. Oh my god. Oh, they got me. Damn it.
RTB for resupply.
Oh, I can't believe it. Hey, well, we got top 10 up against a bunch of squads of 4. I think that's going to help Santa out a lot. So that's good. It's better than our first round. Yeah, I like that idea with flick stick, but because I've only used it, like the idea of being able to just point to where the danger is coming from, and then be right there. That's essentially what I'm doing. I have like 3 points. Like flick stick is 360 degrees of that snapping. Essentially what it is. I have 3 degrees of snapping, 3 points of snapping. I have a 180 snap, and then I have screen edge left and screen edge right. And so using both of those screen edge snaps plus the 180 snap really helps. And the idea of flick stick being able to provide that same kind of function but for a 360-degree radius is extremely appealing to me. But it just doesn't work for me in Steam. It takes so much tweaking to actually get it to line up with what my thumb thinks 180 should be. And you know, you can adjust the rotation and the sensitivity and all these, and I'm sure that there's a way to dial it in so that you can quickly have an accurate sort of flick stick experience. But I have not been able to create an accurate flick stick experience using the Steam configurator. That's not a knock against flick stick as much as it's a knock against, I think, Valve's implementation, because I'm fairly certain that flick stick works much better in Joyshock Mapper. You know, that's where it came from. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, Merry Christmas. Okay. Go somewhere quiet. But yeah, I would love, and eventually I will get around to installing Joyshock Mapper and using it with the DualSense controller. And oh. Every time I go to throw a grenade, I plant a claymore. And if the enemy is looking at me, that's got to be the funniest thing, because they're like, oh no, he's reaching for a grenade. Oh, he's just putting a mine in front of him. Oh, don't get too close to him. So dumb. But yeah, the flick stick, it just doesn't work great in Steam. So if you're gonna experiment with flick stick, I don't recommend you do it in Steam. But if you do, know that it's probably going to take some time and some tweaking, and I would love for you to come and share your results with me, and let me know how you were able to effectively use flick stick through Steam. But if you end up going the Joyshock Mapper route, you'll probably have a much better time using flick stick. And again, this is relative to, you know, a controller with sticks. I don't know that I would use flick stick on a Steam controller, because then I would be losing the touchpad. And I love the touchpad. I love mouse on my touchpad. And the fact that I have the snaps, which I incorporate all the time, and a high sense gyro, which I incorporate all the time plus, but yet my thumb will still swipe across that touchpad. It just tells me that my thumbs like the touchpad, and I don't want to get rid of it. I feel like having the snaps and having the touchpad and having the gyro is currently, at least, my favorite setup. So that's kind of what I'm going with. But I would love to see more people, you know, using stuff like flick stick on their DualShock controllers, because if it were me, like, and I was using a thumbstick for like movement, I would be starting from scratch. You know, like, I don't have that muscle memory, so I would have to. I'd be learning it. Because similar to how anyone who's never used a gyro controller would have to learn how to use a gyro, right? And it would be weird. So I think that if I were to really go that route and try to become proficient with a regular gamepad with a couple of sticks, I would probably use a flick stick. I would probably use Joyshock Mapper and just commit to learning flick stick and getting comfortable with that, rather than even bothering with regular analog stick movement. And again, this is all, you know, relative to using a keyboard and mouse config without auto aim. If you're using auto aim or aim assist, then regular joystick might be fine, because you have the aim assist that's helping. You know, I mean, I don't know how much it helps, but I know that a lot of people like it. But so yeah, I would love to hear anyone's feedback, though. You know, as you guys experiment with things, you know, Jason, as you use flick stick more. Yeah, you know, real. Mouse Delta seems inconsistent in some games. Yeah, you know what? So you might want to watch yesterday's show. We played RoboQuest, and there was a new update in RoboQuest. And what they did is they disabled Unreal's built-in mouse smoothing setting. It's not an in-game setting that you have access to, but the developers in this update said, hey, we removed Unreal's mouse smoothing. Let us know what you think. And that solved my inconsistent mouse deltas. And you may notice that when you're having those inconsistent mouse deltas firing, it might be, you know, if there's no in-game mouse smoothing, you know, or acceleration options, it might be an Unreal game. In Ghost Runner, it's the same thing. A handful of Unreal games, I've noticed that inconsistency. And so as soon as the dev of RoboQuest removed that, it's perfectly consistent. I was so ecstatic yesterday realizing that that update had fixed that, because it makes the game play so much better now. It's wonderful. So that could be what you're noticing. And I even posted on the forums, the Steam forums for Ghost Runner, on a post where someone was also saying, hey, what's up with mouse in this game? And everyone's like, oh, you know, that's not what you're thinking. You're wrong. And it's like, he's not wrong. I'm feeling it too. But a lot of people don't notice it. So hopefully the Ghost Runner dev will get that sorted out and remove that mouse smoothing. But you're right. It does cause some issues. And I wonder if those issues become relevant to, oh, damn it, kick for inactivity. I wonder if those, you know, mouse smoothing features built into certain game engines affect flick stick as well. But most of the time in most games I play, there isn't any inconsistencies with the mouse deltas. Only in those Unreal games. And the most recent ones that come to mind, obviously, are RoboQuest and Ghost Runner.
Check your gear and weapons. Planes are making ready.
I haven't noticed that, Menon. If a game captures the cursor every frame, then when it comes to large mouse deltas, you have to space it out over time. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy with them 90% of the time. And now that I know that Unreal games can suffer from the inconsistencies due to the built-in mouse smoothing, at least I know what my actual complaint is. And if I talk to somebody, I can say, hey, can you remove this? Or can you put an option for that so that those of us that don't want to deal with that don't have to. But actually, yeah, I mean, I found way more issues trying to get flick stick to work than I did with mouse deltas being inconsistent. But what I'm definitely going to be mindful of now, going forward, is when I play a game and I'm noticing those kinds of problems, I'm going to pay attention and see if this is an Unreal game or if it's a game with some sort of built-in mouse smoothing,
Contracts looted or eliminated targets.
because apparently that is
Drop point for your team.
that is a problem. All right, we got to go back into the Grinch's hole.
Drop's over!
Because there's definitely a lot of money in there. Like that was a snap. It becomes so second nature. It's one of the fastest things to become second nature, is the use of those snaps.
Extraction is standing by. Target L's in for pickup.
All that was touchpad. All this is touchpad. Okay, there's another one here. I gotta remember that.
Thanks much.
Gotta come back to get those cash drop balloons. That was a snap.
Enemy UAV on.
That was a snap. So I mean, it really depends. But what's funny is when I first started using the snaps, I was very conscious of it, and for a while, and maybe you guys do this too, but you know, I'll disable a lot of functions just to get used to other ones. So I would disable touchpad and only use snaps. Snaps and a high sense gyro. And I think that helped me kind of like get used to clicking that touchpad down.
Friendly recon's online.
UAV entering the AO.
Oh shoot. I hear him fighting by the hole.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
You think they're still in here? Oh, I think I see a dead body right there. Oh wait, no, it's just rubble.
Enemy soldier incoming. Enemy soldier incoming.
Shoot, do you think they're behind me? So like right now I want to turn around, so I'll just snap. That's it. Oh, I hate going up the ladders. It makes me so nervous.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh, they're down there. This is risky. Oh, come on, it'll work. Oh, Just run for it. I think we got all the money out of there anyway. Snaps. These are like, this is perfect for like the screen edge snaps. I'm looking at this hole down here, and I'm looking at this building right there. Shit! Oh! And as you can see, I should have looked sooner, because they were right there. Oh, good shot, dude. Damn it. Hopefully I can get back there to my cache before they grab it. I doubt it, but...
On the deck. Gotcha, fucker.
Come on, come on. Okay. All right, I think we got our money back. All right, we got to get to the train. It's second objective. We got the money from the Grinch's lair. And this is what the snaps are good for, so you can monitor two locations to see. I mean, hey, at least I had the intuition to know that I was going to die from that exact thing. Oh, man. And I don't have my airdrop balloon anymore, though I could buy one.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Shit.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
All right, we got to get out of here. Oh, no, 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 no. Go, 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 go. Oh, no, go, go. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, I think we're okay. I think we made it.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
See, like spots like this, I can't use the snaps. Look, if I try to do a 180 snap, it only goes a little bit. Even though, like, the mouse... Oh, here's the train. But yeah, like, snap's really inconsistent here when I'm in a vehicle for whatever reason. All right, let's go alongside and make sure there's nobody on it. Oh, crap. Got him. Damn it, come on. Gotta get Santa the money. This is all touchpad, and I don't know why. I don't know why I would use the touchpad there for that, you know, rather than the snap. But oh, look at it. These guys don't understand. We have a very important mission. right, back to the train. You know, one of the things that made gyro easier for me was when I started using it always on. I know that sounds crazy, and I don't always recommend that people start with always on gyro, but I don't actually have a good case to make against starting with always on gyro. For example, your mouse is always on, right? You don't say, oh, when someone's starting to play a game, only turn your mouse on when you're aiming. You know, we don't do that. We just get used to the fact that the mouse is always on. And if you don't want to move the mouse, then just don't move the mouse. And what that translates to in gyro speak is have a gyro lock. You know, I use my gyro lock all the time. All the time. I use my gyro lock the way I might plant my hand if I'm deliberately trying to hold still, you know, my mouse. Because I think it creates like a weirdness when you go to aim and then your gyro's on and then you turn it off. It may end up taking longer to get used to the feeling of the gyro doing what it does. But again, it's all up to your hands. And what I wouldn't do is maybe turn on always on gyro in a game like Apex Legends or something, or even something like this, you know, just because there's too much time in between engagements. And it can make it very frustrating when you spend, you know, 10 minutes running around and then all of a sudden you're in a firefight and then you die. And you're like, I wasn't used to the gyro setting. You know, that can be really annoying. And I totally get that. That's where games like Cyberhook come in, you know? Especially when you can play them without... When you can play them without... I can't talk and do this at the same time. Without scores and timers and stuff like that, and that sort of intro or opening level arena in Cyberhook is really great for that, because there's really no stress.
Enemy soldier incoming.
All right, I gotta get off the train. And I think that if you spend too long not using always on gyro, then it might make it harder for you to make the transition later on, because you're used to your hands being still. Can I have your money? Thank you. It's for the children. Oh no.
Striker 3-1, good copy. Back inbound.
Oh shoot! I was afraid of that. I think I lost a good chunk of money there. Yeah, no, I don't use Y. I used Y for a while in the past, but once I started using the snaps, I changed it from Y to center touchpad, or right touchpad click, specifically. And damn, he did take my money. Let's see if I can get rid of... Well, we're in overtime. It's not super important, I guess. But still, we'll get rid of that. So the way it's working is the right touchpad. When I click to the left, it snaps to the left. It centers the left edge of my screen. When I click to the right, it centers the right edge of my screen. And when I click up or down, it snaps back and forward. Or not back and forward, it does a 180 snap, whether I click down or up, 180 snap. And here, let me show, oh, I can't really show you right now, but it has a fairly high dead zone on that mode shifted D-pad, on that right touchpad. So the center of it is nothing, but the gyro is set up to turn off gyro on right trackpad click. And that ends up becoming really handy for two reasons. One is it makes snaps more usable. Like if you've used snaps in the past and always on gyro, you got to make sure that, at least in my experience, that you lock your gyro when you activate your snaps. One, it'll make things a little bit more consistent because you won't have even your subtle gyro movement conflicting with your delta values that you're sending in for your snaps. Two, it allows you to automatically be in a position to reset your hands because you locked your gyro when you snapped. So you can click and snap to the left, gyro's locked, reorient your hands, and then you're good to go. And that really helps when you're getting used to how much your snap is going to take you left and right, because then you can make a little adjustments, like pre-adjustments with your hand. Be like, oh, I snapped too far. Okay, let me move my hand here, and then release, and then now my gyro is where I want it to be. It especially helps with like the 180 snap. So there'll be a lot of times when there'll be a guy behind me, and I'll want to snap. So then I'll snap behind me, but my hand might be in a bad position to actually aim and fire. So then in the process of snapping, I move my hand. I can move my hand and reset it before I release my snap, lock, gyro lock, right touchpad, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so that, again, when I started using snaps, I too ran into a lot of frustrations. But that was one of the tricks, was disabling the gyro when you enable a snap. And being able to maintain that gyro lock until you decide that you're ready. So your snap is instant. Take your time to reset your gyro, release, and now you're good to go. It sounds like a lot to think about. It's really not after you get used to it. Your hands just sort of know, oh, I snapped, I can reset. And you could almost even just use the snap as a reset and be like, oh, hey, my hand's all weird, but I do want to turn to the left and go through that door. So I'll aim further right so that the door is lined up with the left edge of my screen. And then I'll snap, boom, centering that. And then I'll just go ahead and manually center my controller before I release. And then everything is like squared up. So, I mean, there is a lot to think about, but it's just like using a mouse. You never with a mouse really think, oh, I'm near the edge of the mouse pad. I need to pick up the mouse and now move it over. But I need to not move it too far because I might also want to look to the left once I center my mouse. Like, you don't think that. You just think, oh, and because I'm in, going through this hallway when there's doors to the left and the right, I'm going to center it to the center of my mouse pad. But other times you might know, hey, I'm going to continue turning to the right, so I'm going to pull my mouse pad all the way to the left so that I have a whole bunch of headroom to the right. You're not thinking that, but you are thinking that. You're not consciously thinking that, but your brain knows, and you pick up your mouse and you recenter it however far you feel is appropriate for the situation you're in and for the action you feel that's going to follow. And with the snaps, it's the same sort of thing. And what makes it tricky is when you're learning touchpad or flick stick, plus gyro, plus snaps, there's a lot of synergy that has to happen between all of these. And it could be a lot to even just dial in your gyro settings and get comfortable with that. And I feel like getting comfortable with snaps is also getting comfortable with the gyro, because you use the gyro to augment your snaps and to make adjustments, you know, and there's a lot to it. And it really comes down to what do you want to bite off, you know? Like, how much of this do you want to chew on for the next couple of years? Does the thought of getting good at always on gyro and delta snaps for a year sound miserable? If it does, you're right, it's gonna be miserable. But if that sounds like a great fucking time, then it is a great time. Filled with frustration, mind you, absolutely. But there's something about it, like right there, like I snapped to that door. I don't know if you saw, I had the wrong screen up, but I snapped to the door because my hands are centered. And if there's a bad guy around that corner, here's what I don't want to happen, right? I don't want to turn like this and then see, oh, there's a bad guy coming in that door to the right. And now my hand is in sort of a weird position to turn and take him out. So instead, and what you want to be instinctive is to go snap, snap, boom. And all the while, I'm not worrying about my wonky thumb accidentally going too far. I'm not worried about my gyro hands being in a bad position for aiming and firing. So, and I know where my snap is going to take me, because I basically have a crosshair for my snap. And that crosshair for my left and right snap is the right screen or left screen edge. Line up that screen edge with the door, snap. Go through, line it up, snap. Line it up with the, you know, the box there, the supply crate, boom, snap. Turn around, snap. We need to find more money too. I mean, and right there, you know, like I could have used snaps going down this. I could have gone like that, you know, but I didn't. For whatever reason, my thumb used the touchpad like that. And if I stopped using the right touchpad entirely, then what would my thumb have done there? I would have had to retrain my thumb to not do that. But then in that regard, it just feels like I'm simply just losing a function rather than gaining anything. Oh, I didn't realize I got this loadout. That's okay. I hear more money. There's a lot of stairways in this game too, and a lot of the time, I wonder if maybe even the stairways in this game have helped me get used to the snaps, because a lot of them in the city, you just go up and up and up forever, it seems. And see, like that was really nice, like that 180 snap, having that available for a situation like that, going over those stairs. But you know, another way of doing the stairs, turn to the corner. I mean, it doesn't work out super great in this stairway, but go up, turn to the corner, and then snap. Snap. Right, that's true, man. And there's a case to be made for redundant inputs being, you know, maybe less than ideal. But I'm not looking to make things more complicated just to say I took advantage of every possible function. And the way I see it, you know, when you're using a mouse, it's easy to just think, okay, mouse does mouse look. But I really feel so differently about it when it comes to Steam controller. I feel like there's camera control and there's aiming. And I feel like they're two very different things.
Marking targets. Clear hot.
This is loader 2-0. Good copy. Cluster strike away.
All right, let's see it. Oh no! He was seeing me at the same time. All right, well, at least I took out his helicopter. Yeah, a thing that you got to keep in mind when I'm talking about stuff, and other people who have been doing this for a long time, is we have been doing it a long time, and that doesn't make our opinions right. It just means we've gone through a progression. We've gone through a cycle that has influenced the decisions that we now make. And if I were to do the things that I'm doing now a couple of years ago, I think it would just be frustrating. There's a lot that I wish that I had started doing earlier, for sure. But at the same time, I had the benefit of sucking at the controller forever, and no one ever knew because I wasn't showing anybody. I wasn't playing in front of anybody. So it was easy and comfortable for me to just go ahead and suck for a long time. Embarrassing, certainly, when I was playing multiplayer games, especially with people that I had been playing with for a long time on mouse and keyboard. But, you know, I have to remember, you know, I can say, oh, you know, always on gyro is just the best. And the snaps, and, you know, it's all just the best, and you got to do it that way. And it's true relative to my experience. But again, relative to my experience, and someone else with a different experience, they might just need the time that I needed, you know, to come to those decisions, and possibly even come to completely different ones, based on the experiences that they have and the frustrations that they end up having to deal with. A lot of the decisions that I made, I think, had to do with just solving personal frustrations and shortcomings with the Steam controller configurator software. You know, back when it first came out, you know, when I first started using it, we didn't have mode shifts or, you know, action layers and stuff like that. And, you know, there's probably things that I would have done differently. You know, I don't know that I would use the left grip as a universal shift function if I started using the Steam controller now.
Enemy UAV overhead.
But I don't think that it would be very good for me to stop using it now. Oh shit! Damn it! I didn't manage to grab the cash either. Another question about gyro always on. I notice my camera move when I press buttons like grips and triggers. How do I get rid of movements? Practice figuring out a way to stabilize what works for you. That's right, Meneth. Elbows on armrests is what I'm currently doing. Dude, for the longest time, I had a big fluffy pillow, and I set it on my lap, and I put the controller on it. And it was enough resistance to hold the controller perfectly stable, but it wasn't so much resistance that I wasn't able to push the controller and move it around. I might have done that for the better part of a year at a certain point. And I would highly recommend something like that. Armrests are also very good. When I'm playing very casually, like on the weekends and stuff, I'll put my arms back on the armrests on this chair. And it makes a huge difference in stability. One of the things, though, is incorporating that gyro lock. So now I don't really use the face buttons. Oh, come on.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
My cache still here? Oh, it is.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
So yeah, armrests are good. A good convenient gyro lock that's just right there at your fingertip. It's very good. And getting a nice fluffy pillow. As silly as it sounds, absolutely helps with stability. I agree, Jason. Having a gyro controller is like having a puzzle, figuring out how best to use it. Yeah, it is the game mechanics present in every game that I play that is the most interesting game mechanic. I guess, you know, the Steam controller in general, maybe not even, it's not really the Steam controller, it's just, that's the controller I'm holding. But, you know, the Steam controller configurator, you know, or using JSM or whatever. The idea of having some sort of agency in how a game plays and introducing gyro into that just makes it an incredibly rewarding experience because, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but when I first started playing Warzone, it was pathetic. Sarcastic Warlock is probably the only reason why I kept playing, because I had so much fun playing with him. But I wouldn't win. I wouldn't get kills. You know, it was terrible. But it was still a fun game and very tight controls. So it made, you know, building configs, you know, or perfecting my config really, really rewarding. But it was not. You know, I always have this feeling in the back of my mind, like if I just grab the mouse and keyboard, you know, then I can get some kills, I can make some progress, and then get back over here. And that feeling never really goes away. Like with like almost every new game that I get, before I've really got it dialed in, there's always a moment where I'm like, this is just not going to work. It's just not going to work. I'm not going to be able to do this with a Steam controller. And it's nonsense. It's just a matter of like me being lazy and not putting in the time to find a working, usually sensitivity ratio. But I think I've really got it, you know, like as far as like the sensitivity goes. Between the mouse. Here, let me show you real quick. Oh, damn it, I can't show you. But basically, I mean, I've shown it before. Touchpad sensitivity maxed out 100%. Delta snaps maxed out 100%. And then gyro, high acceleration, essentially the default location. And a mode switch gyro layer, no acceleration, lower sensitivity. And then what I do in the game is I dial in. Like using that template gets me most of the way there. And then I'll just go into in-game sensitivity setting and I'll get it close enough to where the maxed out delta for a 180 snap gets me as close to 180 as possible. And if I can't get it exactly on 180 using the in-game sensitivity, when I have that delta value maxed out, then what I do is I get it one past 180. You know, like if it's like an 8 or like a 3, and a 3 gets me almost to 180, and then a 4 gets me past 180, I'll do a 4. And then I'll go into the Steam controller config, and I'll dial back that delta value until it's perfect. And then what I do with the touchpad is I think it's like a 270 degree swipe. I used to do a 180, you know, for a swipe, and I thought that was great, and I did, you know, pretty well in a lot of games, and I did that until maybe this year. But then I realized that putting it higher, like what is this? I don't know. This is like 270 or something. So it gets me from looking straight ahead. It gets me looking to the right when I do a counterclockwise, you know, a right to left swipe. See, so that's kind of where I get that. And then the 180 snap, just like that. And then with the gyro, what I do is I hold my hands out. Now I have acceleration on, so you gotta be mindful of that. Have the gyro locked, look forward, and I turn the controller until the controller is facing to the right. And I want that to be a 360. As you can see, it is. Now you gotta do it kind of quickly because you have acceleration on, and I want it to be a 360 at max value, at max acceleration. So that's basically perfect. And so those are the 3 little metrics that I go on to tweak my config. And using my my template with the right touchpad value sensitivity maxed out, and then using the mouse deltas maxed out, helps me get there a lot faster than I was able to before. And it really makes things a lot more consistent when you jump from game to game. It's way easier for me now to jump from game to game and find an appropriate sensitivity setting than it used to be. But I will say, a lot of times, it can make a difference, like depending on the kind of game you're playing. If you're playing something where your enemy is close to you, like say Proteus or something like that, or Doom, you might want a higher sensitivity than you would on a game like this, where a lot of times your target is kind of far away. Because more movement, you're going to be moving more in a game like Proteus to hit the majority of your targets because you're jumping around them than you are in this game. So you can sort of tweak it by lowering that sensitivity in a game like this and raising it in a game like that. But again, I would always start with the same baseline sensitivity settings, the same sort of metrics that I explained, and whatever those are for you. You know, that's sort of the deal, is find what you like the most and always dial in your settings to be consistent with that. And if you're not using 20 different mouse input options like I am, then it really isn't that tough when you have sort of a standard to go off of. Hey, Sarcastic Warlock. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve. We are getting money for Santa. I don't know if you heard, but his whole workshop got ransacked and they took all of his materials and his supplies. So we're just trying to help out, send some cash back to them before all those children wake up brokenhearted on Christmas morning. We were doing well for a while, and then you know how I am once we start talking Steam controller. I get all hot and bothered. Yeah, here's my problem with grid shot, is I go in there and I bring in the same sensitivity settings that I'm talking about, and I do worse in grid shot. So then I start adjusting for grid shot, and I start doing better and better and better and better. But now it's like, because grid shot is like this doorway, right? It's this door frame. So obviously you wouldn't want a high sensitivity with this whole thing, because like tiniest movements in my hand are going all around this door frame, left to right. So you would want a lower sensitivity for that. That way your hands can move a little more. At least my hands want to move more, you know? But then I go into a game like this, and everything I learned in Grid Shot is just out the window, because this sensitivity, all of this is so different than that. And good luck trying to bring your Grid Shot sensitivity. What? I was not inactive? What a jerk. Oh, I'm telling you, the Grinch is onto us. He's mad because we raided his lair. All right, now just because of that, I'm going to raid his lair again. And we're sending all that money back to Santa. First class cash deposit balloon. So here's what I'm going to do with Grid Shot in the future. I'm going to take my config. I'm going to dial in my sensitivity settings, exactly how they are, say, in this game. And then I'm going to get good at Grid Shot. My score is going to be terrible off the bat. But I'm going to, you know, and really, Grid Shot is like, it's not really getting you better at gaming or at gyro. It's getting you better at Grid Shot. So I think really you got to mix it up with like the different aim trainer things. Just because in my experience, I played a lot of Ash, a lot of hit scan and Overwatch during a time when I was doing a lot of Grid Shot. Grid Shot never helped me in Overwatch. What helped me in Overwatch was shooting characters that were falling down in an aim trainer level, you know? Shooting those characters that were falling took my gameplay to a slightly higher elevated level. Because what was happening was, in Overwatch, characters jump a lot and they fall a lot. So getting used to tracking a character as they're falling is basically learning what gravity is like in that game. And it's unique to that game. Not every game is going to have the same gravity as every other game. So doing that translated to in-game improvements more than anything an aim lab ever did. So I think the way I was using aim lab in the past probably wasn't helping me in other games, because I kept tweaking my config for it. Another example is there's these trials in this game where you go through, what do you call it? Like a shooting gallery. There's a word for it. I can't remember what the word is, right? So you go through, and you got the little guys that pop up, and you know where they're all at because you do it 1,000 times. And so you end up memorizing where each dude is going to pop up, where the innocent people are, where you can position yourself so that the enemy targets will line up so that you can shoot, multiple targets at once, right? I would play those obsessively, and I would be tweaking my config all the way. Playing it, making little tweaks, making little tweaks, making little tweaks to get like this perfect config for going through that level, that little course. Then I would jump into the game and just get smoked and feel like I have no control. And feel like, oh, the guy that just popped up behind me, I'm turning around and I'm all like weird and the sensitivity feels wrong and off, So it's hard because you want to do something where you can really rapidly get a bunch of experience, right? A bunch of firefights. But if that's not really indicative of the gameplay when you're actually playing the game, then you may end up spinning your wheels, dialing in a great config for, doing a shooting gallery, but not a great config for running through a level, for example. All right, into the Grinch's lair we go. But I am so ultra impressed with how you guys have done in Grid Shot. Your guys' scores are absolutely insane. There was a moment when I was like, oh, this is cool. Look at them, they're doing so good. I should get in there too. And we'll do a bunch of little things and we'll play it. And then all of a sudden you guys are like smoking me. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This would just be bad. This would only be terrible for me. But I don't even know how you guys do it. I'm absolutely blown away. I want the UAV.
Runway recon's online.
UAV entering the AO.
And that's like the funny thing too, is you know, like I can play and feel very comfortable with like the snaps, always on gyro. It does not feel like a thing to me. It doesn't feel weird, just like not using touch or trackball. To me, trackball is just the weirdest thing in the whole world. I don't get it. But I know that people like it and they love it and everything. And then you guys will go into grid shot or aim lab and you're doing phenomenal. I'm like, I don't know how you guys are doing that. It just blows my mind. And that's sort of the thing about the Steam controller, I guess, right? Is it's so specific to what where you invest your time. And I think that's kind of really what it comes down to, is wherever you invest your time,
For resupply.
that's where you're gonna see
The AO.
the greatest improvement. And so it's just a matter of finding where you want to make those investments. You know, like I'm a stickler for the
Target marked. Set.
for the touchpad, you know. But obviously, you don't have to have a touchpad to do good. There's tons of people that are amazing using DualShock controllers. And if I put one in my hands, then I'm kind of a bumbling mess. But I'm confident that I could get good if that's where I wanted to make my investment.
UAV entering the AO. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
And the biggest thing, you know, I think that's really important to pay attention to is be open-minded. I see a lot of comments and stuff, specifically on Reddit,
Is bingo fuel.
where people are like laying down facts, you know, about the Steam controller and about acceleration and about all of these things, and a lot of their facts just don't line up with my experiences. And that's not to say that it's not accurate for them. But like if someone says you can't, you know, do something, or
Strike away.
you know, acceleration is bad because XYZ, and here's a you know, a PDF that explains why acceleration is bad, or why this is bad or that is bad. Just experience it for yourself, you know, and understand that anything that you do is going to take time. It's almost like someone could say, hey, driving a stick shift is hard. I mean, technically, maybe, but if you only know how to drive a stick shift, you don't think that you're doing something hard, you just think that you're driving. Uh-oh. What the heck? Those jerks. Oh no. At least I got rid of most of my money. We got a bunch off to Santa, so that's good. And there's cash drops all over the place. There's one over there. There's one over there. Those guys are probably wanting to go down there. But there's nothing there. I already took it all.
You're all cash in the area.
Oh, shit.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Ugh. Oh, no. Shit. Oh, damn it. So close. Right, yeah, Jason. My first handful of cars that I learned to drive were stick shift. Ah! I wanted to beat him with my hand, with my gun, but I didn't. Like, all right, there I snapped. I knew he was going to come around that side, so I overcorrected like that, and then I snapped. Damn it. Merry Christmas. Think of the children. It's not much, but I'm sending it to Santa. Sniper. Damn it! He's good. Let me see. Oh, he's not going to show me? Damn. Back from me. Oh, hey. It's got an S for Santa. Oh, man. All right, well, that should help him get a few more gift cards for the children. A Manumatic. That's awesome. Yeah, I have a similar feature in my vehicle. I move the stick to the left, and then I could go up and down. But the funnest part is it has paddle shifters. Paddle shifters are super fun. You know, and I'm definitely loving having an automatic transmission from having years of manual transmission and sitting in traffic for hours on end on a long commute home, my left leg would get so tired. But these days, I don't drive at all. I haven't driven more than one time. I haven't, maybe 5 times this year. Yeah. I really ought to just put my vehicle in stasis, considering it just does not get use.
Grab some target practice while you can. We're deploying.
But part of that is I have a one wheel. I'm a big fan of it. I love it so much. And so if I need to like run to the store or something, I'd much rather just take the one wheel and then throw whatever I need in the backpack. Who is he shooting at?
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
You can't kill me.
Time for the real thing.
Yeah, like that, Nemo. Yeah, that's the larger one. I have the one-wheel pint. It's a bit smaller, but it feels very, very similar to a device we had back home called a hoverboard. Not at all what Earth hoverboards are like. The things that Earth calls hoverboards
Or eliminating targets.
are the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. And it's not even hovering. It's on wheels. Come on. But the one wheel feels like the kind of hoverboard that I know. And when you don't look down and see the wheel, you literally feel like you're floating on a hoverboard. Like they call it floating. Like riding a one wheel is called floating. And like people that ride them, they call themselves floaters. They call it the float life. Because you really feel like you're fucking floating, and it's amazing. Hack the one wheel to control the Steam controller? Jeez. You know what? That actually might be fun to even just hold a Steam controller while riding it. All right, come on.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
We got to take all the Grinch's money and get it the hell out of here.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Shit!
Hostile dropping into the area.
All right, we gotta hurry because they're gonna be coming back. Oh shit! They're back. Damn it. Oh, they're gonna take all of my money. Yeah. That's for the children, you bastards. They're definitely going to be expecting me now. But maybe they're not going to expect me this way. I'm just going to drop that there.
Lord of this target.
Good copy.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Shots missed.
Come on. I know you're there. Come on. Come on, come up the ladder.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Gotcha, fucker.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Standing by.
Got him. Shit.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
I need close air support on this target.
Loader 2-0. Good copy. Cluster strike away.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Are they coming back? Hurry, 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 hurry. Gotta get to the North Pole. Hey, Phil Tato. Hey, Merry Christmas Eve, my man. Welcome. Good to see you. Yes.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy attack chopper is in the AO. Bring it down and recover the cash.
I think I should probably leave through the hole, because it's way too dangerous the other way. Or maybe I laugh in the face of danger. I don't know if that's a good idea. But hey, it's Christmas time. The season of perpetual hope. Hey, someone fell. That's so funny when it's not me. Oh, what do you think? I don't think I should do it. Oh, but look, someone's dropping bombs over there. That's right where the hole is. Oh wait, no, it's not. Okay, the hole might be safe. It might be okay to emerge from the Grinch's hole. What do you think? Should we try it? I think we should. For Santa, for Christmas, for the children. Oh, and I can't get up from here, huh? I'm always very nervous when I'm on those things because I just don't have any control.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Oh, there he is. Nah,
UAV overhead.
he's too far. I'll let him go. We're not here to kill people. We're just here to get money for the children. Those doors are open. Oh, there's somebody in the sky. Boy, this is a dangerous place out here now. Very dangerous.
We got this.
Did he get him? I think he got him.
You're all captured the area.
Shit! Oh no! How much did I lose? Like 50 grand? Yeah, you know, now I don't know for certain that they are the Grinch. But they definitely work for him. That I do know. All right, screw those guys. I don't have time to fight with them. I gotta find money for Santa. Yes, and another cash deposit balloon. I want to use these without. There we go. All right.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Not my AO. How dare they?
Requesting recon.
UAV entering the AO.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy dropping into the AO. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I hear a vehicle. It's on the other side of that building.
Friendly recon's online.
UAV entering the AO. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
I hear a train. Our escape. All right.
Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Ah, someone's already got all the good stuff. All right. I gotta find more money. Why do you gotta be changing stuff? Stop being funny. Okay?
Possibly.
No. Raid is trying to be involved.
Absolutely.
All right. Another 444,000. That's good. How come it says less here than it did a second ago? I don't know. Either way, these kids are in for just a wealth of phenomenal gift cards. And I'm feeling pretty good. All right, now we're gonna do one more. It's gonna be the last one of the night. This one, we're gonna team up. Let's see. We're gonna fill this, and we're gonna get a lot of money. We're gonna get so much money. Thus far, it's been me against squads of 4. We've gotten top 10 a couple times, I think. But the point is, we have delivered a tremendous amount of money back to the North Pole. $20 Applebee's gift cards for all the kids. Now, hopefully Santa could do better. Hopefully he can come up with something. I'm asking for a Steam controller version 2, as I always am. We never give up hope, right? 'Tis the season. Wouldn't it be crazy if we all just woke up Christmas morning and we saw a package from Santa addressed to us, and we opened it up thinking, ha, thanks, Professor Walken. You signed it as Santa, that's fun. And Professor Walken is like, dude, I don't know what that is. Sure. And you open it up. Wait, what is this? Oh my God. And Professor Walken says, what is it, Ryker? What's in the box? You cover your mouth. And he says, what's in the box? Got him. Got him. We're getting him.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Anyway. Oh. Got him. Shut the door. Oh, you missed it. Oh.
Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Okay, anyway. You open the box. It's a Steam controller. Version 2. I know Santa is not real or whatever. I know that Valve doesn't care about the Steam controller.
Plunder.
They just care about the DualSense controller.
Or eliminate target.
Man, I'm angry at Valve. When? Okay, now that we've established all the typical opinions, what if? What if it were possible? I'm not talking like a fantasy land. I'm not talking, oh, you know, like, haha, this is an impossible. I'm talking 2020. Remember, this is 2020. Literally anything could happen. The Steam controller showing up under our Christmas tree, a version 2 with a total of 4 grip buttons, a less clicky trackpad, better bumpers. It could happen. I mean, crazier things have happened. If I said this a year ago, it would just be total fantasy. And it's only somewhat total fantasy now. And then we just remember what we have experienced thus far. As Nemo says, the year of all possibility. That's right. And it's not, there's no rule that says it just has to be bad things, you know? The good things can happen too. And I don't mean that in a facetious sort of way. I mean, lots of good things have happened.
Locking L's in for pickup.
I mean, look at us. Here we are. It's Christmas Eve. We're hanging out, shooting dudes on top of buildings. Didn't plan for any of this to happen before this weird, crazy year. And here we are. Do you know what I'm getting at? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Without just coming outright and saying it. You know what I'm saying. Oh, look at button.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, I don't know the access code. Yeah, and you know what? If and when they do make one, they have an existing base of extremely passionate users in us, in Ramble, in his community. There's a lot of people. Steam Controller Gamer. There's a lot of people. And I think the second time around, if they give us that, if they give us another chance, that's the wrong way to put it, but I'm being fun. It'll be different. Valve, if you're listening, it'll be different. We will show the world. Just give us the tools. That's all we ask. There's always money men up here, but it's always very dangerous.
Enemy attack chopper is in the AO. Bring it down and recover the cash.
Hey, look at that guy. I can't look up more. Damn it. He's gonna be waiting for me, I'm sure of it. Get the money. Run! Oh, so close. Oh, man.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I've somewhat abandoned my team. I've abandoned my boy! They're getting fired upon. What? I was shooting him in the head too. My bullets weren't good enough. Damn it. He had better bullets. What can I say? Our team is not doing particularly well. But that's okay. Anything can happen. Hell, for all I know, we might end up on a train. He's in there. See his gun? Come on, he'll stick his head out again.
Got movement!
Oh, that was the guy. Oh, hey, what's up? All right, where are you going, teammate? This guy's a ninja. Dat 504 ninja. Must be a very high level ninja. All right. 521,000. We didn't make top 10, but hey, that's a good chunk of change. And it's silver. Santa loves silver. Oh, I should. Merry Christmas, fellas. And good game. I don't know if they can hear me. I mean, it pops up right here when I do it, but no one ever responds, so I'm not sure if they can hear me. Just think of how much of an impact it would make to trot us power users out there and show off what the tech is capable of to the entire world, instead of the mainstream media that will never be able to give the time of day that the time of day that it deserves, because their job requirements mean so-called reviews have to get pumped out ASAP. I know, right? I feel ya. And they couldn't have possibly been thinking that the Steam controller would have mainstream appeal. You know, like they couldn't have possibly been thinking that people were going to want to give up gamepads. I don't know, like it just seems like a very that's a real uphill climb. If that's your angle. There's a lot of software, well, you know, there's a lot of hardware that I use too that is absolutely not relevant whatsoever to the mainstream, to any mainstream. But it doesn't mean that it's not valuable, you know? Not everything has to appeal to 20 million people. It's okay for things to not appeal to 20 million people. You just have to, right? You just have to deal with your business and your finances and figure out how to make it work. Of course, it's easier said than done, but I mean, there's a tremendous amount of niche products that exist. I'm surrounded by them. You know, I mean, like, talking like the world of music, we have all sorts of weird musical things that nobody ever asked for, that the mainstream would never give a rip about. But the creators of these things know that the small market that exists for them is passionate and willing to put in the time and the effort to learn how to use these things and spend the money and invest the money to be able to acquire these things, even if it's more expensive. You know, I would happily pay $100 for an improved Steam controller. And I felt that way for a long time. That's just personally me. Like, I'm not saying that from a game industry perspective, this $100 controller would, you know, be, you know, a big hit. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying there does exist a market of people that are willing to pay high amounts of money for specialty controllers. I mean, aren't those Elite controllers pretty expensive? You know, I mean, the DS or the DualSense controller costs quite a bit, and that doesn't even have grip buttons. So whenever they come around to making a grip button attachment, the thing's going to be close to $100. I don't know. Like, come on, Valve. We'll buy it. I mean, even if like, I know Valve wouldn't do this, but if there was some sort of like crowdfunding option or something, you know, to where they can at least meet us halfway and be like, all right, look, you guys want it so bad. Could you pony up? Could you put your money where your mouth is? I'd be happy to make content and do all that stuff because I like it. I value it. And I like the idea of engineers at Valve thinking about out-of-the-box input and being able to create that hardware. I like that narrative. I like that story in my head, and I want to encourage it and be a part of it. But if the idea is like, all right, we'll do this, and if it's not a huge, you know, multi-million-dollar hit, then we're gonna stop. We're gonna turn around and go the other way. Last I spoke to the Valve people, they were actually incredibly surprised and happy at how well Steam Input is doing. That's awesome, Meneth. That's cool. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't be so selective with their communication. And things. I don't know. I mean, it's easy. It's easy to like sit back and be like, oh, well, I would do things differently if I were them or whatever. You know, I mean, it's so typical, right? But that's what we do, I guess, about things we're passionate about. And I'm glad that they are happy about how it's gone, you know. I just hope that, you know, their value in Steam Input is more than just Steam Input. You know, translates over into the hardware side of things. Because if they just put more effort into supporting, you know, other controllers like, you know, the DualSense via software, I don't know. That's a much less exciting narrative to me. It's a much less exciting story. Yeah, that's part of the problem. Communication. The silence is so bad. I'd be happy to sign an NDA just to get a yes or no if a Steam Controller 2 will happen, let alone when. Yeah. I feel you. And it seems weird, like if it is happening, if it is on their radar and it is on their, you know, their forecast or whatever, the fact that they're not really communicating about, you know, potential improvements, what is the, you know, unless they just have like their ear to the ground and they're, you know, like, I don't know, it seems weird. Like again, if it were me, I would be communicating directly with people who are out there, you know, pushing Steam controller, making content, making configs, doing this stuff. I would be talking to those people and saying, hey, what can we do to make the next version better? That would be the process for me. So even if they were like, we're making a second one, then I would still be like a little concerned because they made the Vive controllers, which were kind of wonderful for what they were. And then they made the Index controllers, which are just garbage, you know? Like, it's so cool watching the video and being like, you can open your hands, you can throw things, that's so cool. You can see all your fingers. And yes, it is cool. It's cool. It's cool to be able to throw things, right? But honestly, you hardly do that. You hardly interact with any VR game with individual fingers to where the capacitive sensors actually are worth a damn. You know, like some games you can actually see all your fingers moving, and then other games you don't see all your, it's just on and off, you know? So then it's like, well, then why is that such a big deal? And the fact that you got rid of the touchpad in favor of a joystick, it's just the most mind-boggling decision ever. And it feels like, again, the mainstream, you said, oh, this is dumb, touchpads, whoa, where's the joystick? I need a joystick. So then they like give us joysticks, and the joysticks suck on the Index controllers. They go out all the time, they're not consistent, they don't feel good. There's less that you can do with a joystick than you can do with a touchpad. So it's like, if they were to make a Steam controller too, my fear is that it would come out and it would have one trackpad on the left and a joystick on the right, two analog joysticks, because a lot of people have said, "Oh, I want a joystick. What, the trackpad's weird." I have a feeling that that's like what they would do, because that's what they did with the Index controllers. And I understand the Index controller. Yes, it has a little trackpad, but it's a nightmare to use as an actual trackpad because it's not a circle, and it feels terrible. So if whoever made that decision to say, hey, let's go ahead and, you know, appease the loud, I would, in my experience, right, being involved with lots of VR communities and going to lots and lots of VR trade shows and talking to lots of people in the industry, no one who actually knows what they're talking about would have said that they would rather have joysticks than touchpads. Maybe implementation of a trackpad could be better, but that's on the game developer. And the fact that you had so many options for remapping controls when you have a touchpad than you do when you have a joystick, there's just literal things that you can't do with a joystick that you can do with a touchpad. Makes me worried that whoever is listening to the feedback at Valve might take it in that direction. And in that case, that would be really, really sad. I think it would just be okay to just say, hey, we're making a controller for the handful of nerds out there who are willing to pony up and crowdfund this thing. And I mean, I'd totally be down for that. I would be down to basically to throw money, you know, and free marketing at whoever makes a viable alternative. It doesn't have to be Valve. I'm not like a Valve fanboy. I do own an Index. I do like Steam, and I do use a Steam controller, but it's not because of an allegiance to Valve. Yeah. Is that one, Menith, is that the one with the replaceable components that you can swap in and out different things? Yeah, because if they did, you know, like a dedicated joystick on that right touchpad, that would just be a deal breaker. I have no interest in that. It's got grips, but at that point, if I'm losing a trackpad, I would probably just use a DS4 with the grip button attachments. And that's not necessarily what I want to do at all, but but I have zero desire to have an analog stick on here. I feel like there's plenty of options for that, you know? There's so many options if that's what you want to do. Oh, who knows? Hopefully tonight, I have dreams about opening a Steam Controller 2 built by Santa using the money that we sent back to him today. It's like we all have a part in this. Yeah, that drawing looks weird. Like, why would it have a trackpad and then just a joystick sort of superimposed on top of it? That seems weird. Well, maybe they're thinking you could still use the trackpad in the outer edge for things. I mean, I guess that's a creative compromise, but not a welcome compromise, that's for sure. I'll give them points for creativity if that's what it is. If it's a outer edge capacitive trackpad with a joystick in the center, okay. You know, I felt for a long time, just make fucking everything capacitive, you know? And if I want this area because it feels good, because my thumb happens to go to that area well, then make that area a zone. I want to be able to divide up the zones on the whole surface of the controller, and I want everything to be capacitive. I want the buttons to be capacitive. I want to have soft touch on my button, and then I want to have an actual button press, you know? Like, there's so much that you can do with that. And it kind of goes back to the whole touchpad thing with like that whole surface being capacitive and being able to divide it up and use it in different ways. And, you know, there's still a lot that they can do to improve the experience just through software. You know, I still get super excited every time I see Steam has a new update. Like, every time I see that message pop up, I think, oh, maybe they've done something cool with Steam input. Maybe they did something cool for the Steam controller. You know, and of course, most of the time that's not the case. But every once in a while, you know, there is something new. You know, like we got mouse deltas. I think that was this year, right? Wasn't it? I can't remember. I feel like it was. Flick stick, obviously, even though I'm not a big fan of Steam's implementation, I still appreciate the work and you know, the time that they took to implement that. Whoever it was. I wish I was smarter, you know. I'd applied for a job at Valve, and I would try to actually, you know, help with some of these things and do that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't know where to even begin. I could just sit here and talk about it, which clearly doesn't take much expertise. All right, enough about the Steam controller. Enough about the heartbreak. I do love it, though. And you know what? It's Christmas time. I hope all of you have a really great day tomorrow. I hope you eat some really great food. I hope you watch some really great movies. Maybe Home Alone. That's a good one. Maybe Home Alone 2. That's a sequel. Maybe Home Alone 3. Nah, maybe not. Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm going to be watching that. Yeah, for sure. It's just like the best movie. Trapped in Paradise. Nick Cage, John Lovitz, and Dana Carvey. It's a phenomenal film. It's a great movie. I love it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Have you guys seen that? That counts as a Christmas movie. That's one of the best movies. I love that movie. Home Alone 4? Is there really a 4? I mean, of course there is. Why not? There's Land Before Time 28, I think. They'll make them because kids will watch them, and that's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm gonna be singing all the songs. I'm gonna be baking cookies. That's what I'm gonna do in the morning. Hey, sarcastic warlock. He's a head. I hope you guys have a great time. You know, and if you have family that you can be around, then I hope you enjoy your time with them. And if you have family that you can be around that you don't like to be around, I hope for the best. And be open-minded, because you never know. And you know, maybe it'll be a good time. And I won't see you guys until Monday. How many days is that? Well, it's at least 2 days. I know that. And then we'll have our final induction of the year. Yep. Before the doors close somewhat. There's some exciting changes. Changes? Maybe not changes. Some exciting additions coming in the new year, in 2021. 2020 was whatever. 2021, who fucking knows at this point? But one thing I do know is that what little that I have control over is going to be good, and it's going to be exciting, and I'm going to make the best of it. And I hope that you guys will still be there and still come by and hang out, and we can continue doing what we're doing and more, because I'd like to do more. And not just for me, but for everyone, for all of us. And I don't know how it's all going to work out, but I'm excited. I mean, tomorrow's Christmas, so like, excitement is just in the air. I hope you're excited. I hope you're not, you know, too cool to be excited about Christmas. Because it ain't about, like, you know, the food and the movies and the gifts and all that kind of stuff. It's about having a reason to be excited. You know, and you gotta find those. Sometimes you gotta seek them out. And when you find them, you gotta track them down. Sometimes they're on a train, and you gotta race to that train. It ain't gonna stop and wait for you. It's gonna take some work. And when you get there, there's gonna be a bunch of goons on that train. And they're gonna try and shoot you with guns. And you could say, oh, look, there were goons on that train. They've got guns. They're shooting at me. See? And everyone will say, oh, of course, of course. Poor thing. I'm so sorry. I don't know. But when you get shot, you just got to remember that your money boy with the golden knives is going to be swooping down right next to you. And he's going to revive you. And together, you and your TRICOM gamer are going to get back on that train. And you're going to kill those motherfuckers. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. You're going to make the best of it. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we've been doing. And I'm just explosively excited to see where things are going to go from here. 2021, the year of the trains. I'll take it. Okie dokie, everybody. That's all I've got. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. Filtato, Nemo, Dr. Ravenholm, Sarcastic, Meneth, Railk, Speedy Lee. Thanks for stopping by. Jason, if you're still awake, thank you for stopping by. I hope you guys had a good night. And I will, I'll see you on Monday. And I'll see you on the TRICOM between now and then. Thank you, Meneth. You as well. Have a good night and Merry Christmas.